This is Tiger Cats Postgame on the Ticats Audio Network.
21-13, Hamilton Tiger Cats. Ding, ding, ding. They are in the win column. Oh, it was tight, right down to the last play. And I'll tell you, there's a lot of fans walking out of Tim Hortons Field with big smiles on their face, and even the broadcast crew certainly hard not to enjoy what we just saw. Tiger Cats Post Game. I'm Bubba O'Neill along with Andy Fantuz, and we'll be joined by a couple of the guys from the booth as well too to talk about this one. And Andy, boy, we talk about the entertainment of the game, and boy, if you're a fan, I'm sure the coaching staff are pretty nervous, but as a fan, what a way to close out a game.
Never a dull moment. Can you believe it? I mean, you're looking at that game just thinking the Ticats are really controlling this game. And it seemed like offensively and defensively, yet it comes down to 1 yard on the last play of the game. Huge tackle by Chris Edwards on the quarterback run, and just an incredible atmosphere here. It was so nice to see the fourth quarter and the Ticats players revving up the fans and just the energy in the building, and that's, we've missed that, and it was just great to see. Like, defensively, what an outstanding effort all game long. Really, the only thing that hurt them consistently was the running by Dustin Crum, and he rushed for the quarterback who came in when Jeremiah Mazzoli got hurt. He rushed 6 times for 91 yards and a touchdown, and really, if you take that small part out of it, I think the Ticats defense just played outstanding throughout the whole game.
Yeah, it was like we talked about complementary football, and that everyone has got to do their part, and we always hear about 3 aspects of football, and offense, special teams, and defense. And I thought special teams did their job with Mark Leggio was outstanding, 5 for 5. The offense did enough, moved, drove the ball at times. They finally broke that silly 6-quarter no touchdown streak, and then the defense just all game long played their part.
Yeah, offensively, there's a positive and a negative. I mean, they did get that touchdown, but it was a long one, that 65-yard touchdown. In the red zone, still 0 for 3 tonight. Still can't find a way to score in the red zone. So that's something that they need to address. But I liked to see the commitment to the run. You take away, there was 27 rush attempts. A couple of those were quarterback sneaks, but even 25 rush attempts, you're putting a lot of pressure on that defensive front seven and helping out your offensive line a lot by allowing them to move forward and get physical so that they're always not on their heels, just protecting against that pass rush. We talked about how good that Ottawa pass rush is, and I thought the offensive line neutralized that fairly sufficiently this game. So I love to see the rush attempts by that offense. Overall, I thought they were methodically kind of driving down the field and adding in a lot of different aspects into that game. A lot more RPO, getting Schultz on the move, throwing some passes. There weren't too many, deep passes this game, but that's okay. You got to take what's there, and I thought they controlled the flow of the game really well, and that was a positive. The one thing that's continues to be a concern is the penalties.
True.
Penalties. 11 penalties for Hamilton, 66 yards, but crucial times. And a few times it was the same penalty over and over. Ottawa had 6 penalties for 60 yards, so almost double the amount of penalties. That's got to get cleaned up, but you got to say overall, pretty pleased with the effort. And even when things weren't going right, we talked about it at halftime, how they seemed to be the better team going into half, yet they're still down a point. You didn't see any internal dysfunction. You didn't see any lack of energy and effort. The defense kept coming to play, snap after snap, even when the Ottawa would get a big second down conversion. So very pleased with the effort overall and the energy and of course the big W.
Here on Tiger Cats Post Game, we'll check in with Coach O and a player down in the locker room, presented by Access Storage. We'll also name our performer of the game. Andy will do a quick review of his Car-Star keys to victory, which are certainly much more of a positive. But now it's time for our catch of the game presented by Fisherman's Friend. Fisherman's Friend, it works. That's the honest truth. Folks, the situation was this: 13-9, third quarter, 6:57 left in that third quarter. And right after a Simoni Lawrence interception, it's 1st and 10 from the Ticats 46.
Gives the Tiger Cats the football on the 46-yard line. They're trailing by 4. Schultz gets the snap, throws to his left, and Tyreek McAllister, he's running down the sideline. He's at the 30, the 25, the 20, the 10. It's a touchdown! Tyreek McAllister.
Wow. RJ, you know I'm not a big wide receiver screen guy, but I guess McAllister has the speed to get it done, and great job blocking by the rest of that wide receiver setup. Huge touchdown pass. It was Damon Webb, halfback for Ottawa, who thought he had the angle, but McAllister, the angles are different with that guy. That was great, great speed.
You know, Andy, I know and I can understand why Luke really doesn't like that screen, because so many things have to happen. But it actually did in that play. The downfield blocking from the wide receivers were exceptional, and McAllister only had to really make one move, and with great speed, he was gone.
Yeah, certainly. And you need that versatility in your offense. You need to have those type of plays on film so that defenses need to prep for them, and you just have more question marks about what you're going to do in any situation for a defensive coordinator to plan against. I kid you not, though, a funny story is we had Tim Cheatwood here at halftime. Yep. And then we were going around to different areas and watching the game, and we walk into Bob Young's box I wanted to make sure they shook hands. And Bob says to me right before, like, that was the play we shook hands, he said, "This is going to be a big play right here. I can feel it." I swear. So I gotta give the caretaker some love. We shook hands, we watched the play, and then everybody was going crazy. It was a lot of fun, and so Tim and I got to watch that play with the owner. It was pretty special.
Well, we talk about the explosion plays, and it was great to see the fans enjoy an explosion play that ends up into the end zone as well, too. Like I said, ending a 6-quarter touchdown drought for this team. Let's bring in from Ticats game day. Let's bring in Courtney Stephen as we look back at your Car-Star keys to victory, and certainly Courtney, you can pipe in as well too. Let's review, starting with number 1.
Number 1 was hammer the first half, and this one's a tough grade for me because I really felt like they controlled that first half, offensively and defensively, especially defensively, until that last drive for the Redblacks ended up in that touchdown. That was aided by that big face mask on the roughing the passer. But other than that, I thought that they were in complete control, but yet going into half down 1 point, I can't give it a passing grade, unfortunately. So I'm going to have to fail that one. Yet I was still pleased with the process.
Number 2.
Number 2 was protect the quarterback, and Ottawa had 2 sacks, a couple more fairly substantial hits, but nothing compared to the previous games. And if you compare the teams, Hamilton had 5 sacks, so that one is definitely a big positive win for me in that one. So I think they did a great job of mixing in play calls, different protection schemes, and just different plays in general, and having good execution against just the front 4.
Number 3, finally a win for the Ticats.
Finally, the turnovers, and it honestly seemed more lopsided than it ended up being, because those big 3 interceptions by that Ticat defense were so exciting. But it ended up being 4-3. Yet still, that's a win is a win, and Ticats caused 4 turnovers and only gave up 3 times. So another win, and 2 out of 3 keys to victory ends up in an 8-point win.
Courtney, I know you did your participation as a Tiger Cat on special teams, but you also played defense, and this has got to be one. And I know you on game day, along with Mike Daly, talked a lot about how important Mark Washington's defense and the scheme would be to a win tonight. And boy, they delivered in all aspects and all 3 levels.
Yeah, and I think the pressure up front that the defensive line was able to get, and in some of the blitz packages with those second-level players getting into the mix, I think that absolutely contributed to the turnovers that you saw, whether it was the fumble that was created in the backfield or the interceptions, because a lot of those were balls that were just thrown off target, and it was a tips and overthrow. So sometimes you catch a blessing when you're running and hustling to the ball.
As always, we have exclusive access to the coaching room. Time to check in with Coach O, presented by Access Storage. Score a touchdown with affordable storage. Access Storage has flexible storage solutions at a store near you. Try 4 weeks free. Details at accessstorage.ca. Coach O, congratulations on the victory, and I know you as a former Tiger Cat defensive player, you know all about this, that this is a hard-working steel town, that, you know what, they're happy with defense and special teams, but the pride is always on the defense, and boy, did your boys come to play today.
Yeah, they stepped up to the plate, and, it was, basically by whatever it took, we had to do it, but, I thought, we did move the ball a little bit on offense. Obviously, we didn't put it in the end zone. We had the big return, we did with Tyreek on the screen, put it in the end zone. That was a big play for us. And then special teams had a couple of big returns, and we were able to, I thought we really weren't backed up a whole bunch tonight. And then, of course, the defense got after it, and that's what we needed.
Coach, you always say it's hard to win a football game, and in a game like this where you seem to control the flow on both sides of the ball for the majority of the game, yet you go into halftime, you're down one score, you come to the end of the game, they get to the 1 yard line with a chance to tie it up. Yet it was very rewarding to see the lack of the effort in staying focused on the game. How do you keep from getting frustrated in those moments when you seem to be playing well in all phases, yet the score is so close?
Well, it's, the thing is, and is like, it's about preparation. Like, you got to prepare them for the situation, and that's mental preparation, to be honest with you. That's, we said that this likely would be a 1-point game, and that was our mindset. It didn't matter, like, if it turned out different, great, but we had to have the mindset that we needed one more point, and if that's what it took, that's what it took. And so, I think there was chances for us to be flat on the sideline or be upset, and I just really feel like we pushed through that, and that's what this football team needed to do was push through adversity, and so, while there's always little frays every now and again, the bulk of it, everybody was ready to go and committed to the cause.
Coach O, this is Courtney. It was a team win for sure. Everybody contributed, but I like the way that the Ticats played up front on both sides of the ball. I mean, the defense was getting in the backfield, making it troublesome for the quarterback to find a clear passing lane. And, of course, Matt Schultz he looked comfortable throwing in rhythm and things like that. How does the offensive line and defensive line play into the momentum you're able to generate in that second half?
Yeah, definitely. When you talk about being a physical football team, it's always going to start. Yeah, big hits and everything are part of it, and there's other ways to establish it, running over people, but it's always going to start up front. And so, we made a commitment to do that, and I really feel like, both of those groups really stepped up and made it happen. So, just proud of them, right? Proud of them.
Hey, Coach, one of the big things that turned around tonight was the defensive takeaways and just unbelievably aggressive defensive effort by your guys, especially in the second half. What can you say about how those guys came out of the bye week and played tonight?
Well, I would expect them to have great energy, and the execution you can emphasize it in practice, but it's got to show up. It's got to show up in the game, and that's what we've been lacking. Like we've had great practices and showed great poise and stuff in there, but you got to do it when the lights are on. So for them to come out and get the ball, take it away, that was something that was lacking. It's definitely addressed hard. And you can't control when they're going to come, but you can control making your play. And I feel like for the most part, whether it was the tip ball or a key sack, or I feel like people when they have a play that was made.
Coach, one last one for you, and I know sometimes the fans forget, people forget when you look at the final score. It's great that you have the win, but let's not forget what Mark Leggio did tonight. And you signed this guy pretty much in an emergency kind of situation. He goes 5 for 5 tonight, and he hasn't missed as a Ticat.
Yeah, let's not make mention of that. No, I'm kidding. No, he's really stepped up, and sometimes, you know, when it comes to kickers, careers get resurrected. I think you could go through the league and talk about people who had been released or changed jerseys and things like that. And sometimes, you know, it works out for the best. So he's been lights out, like obviously as good as everybody else was. Without him, you know, it would have been tough sledding. So those weren't easy kicks. There was a little bit of wind out there, and he's learning, you know, how to kick in this stadium. It was really good.
Coach, enjoy the victory. I know it's a short week for you guys out in E-Town. Let's get that momentum going and look for another victory. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Well, let's just say, let's call the spade a spade. Talking to a coach after a victory. Luke Tasker joins us here on the round table. It's a lot more pleasant, isn't it?
A little different tone of voice, a little easier questions, and good for them. That was a good team win by all three phases tonight.
You could hear the relief.
Sure.
Not the relief, but the the proudness in his voice, right, of his team. They didn't. Adversity came. The effort was there. They continued to push and push and push, and came up with plays when they needed to. And like you said, the plan was to win by 1 point. They won by 1 score. That could have easily been a 20, 30-point win if a few bounces went a different way. Could have also been a loss. So you got to, you take them when you get them, and you got to ride that momentum.
Coach said that this week in one of his press meetings with the media. I don't care about winning ugly. I'm not going to criticize a victory. So that's the way you got to look at it, especially when it's win number 1.
And I think it's a great building block for this team to have a win in this fashion, where you had to come from behind, you let go of a lead, then had to come from behind, and then had to defend the lead in crunch time, because all of those are pivotal moments that are going to give these guys, some of which are very young, some of which don't have much chemistry together, you're going to give them that experience, and that's going to go a long way in this season as they try to stack these wins together.
Well said. You don't win as much if you just jump from the first quarter and coast your way through the whole game, right? You win a lot from mistakes, you win a lot from losses, you win a lot from gritty wins like this that don't go all your way. I like that point a lot.
Let's name our performer of the game, presented by Hercules Tire, right on our strength. And we had a long chat about this one because there were so many people that participated. And even though maybe other people had better numbers, guys, we gave this one to Simoni Lawrence. There was a spirit about him that was moving and grooving, and we've got him on the line right now. So let's go back to the locker room and connect with Simoni Lawrence, our performer of the game, presented by Hercules Tire, right on our strength. And this interview is presented by Access Storage. Score a touchdown with affordable storage. Access Storage has flexible storage solutions at a store near you. Try 4 weeks free. Details at accessstorage.ca. Number 21, congratulations on being player of the game, but this was a beautiful team win, and especially on defense.
Yeah, for sure, man. Thank you. I appreciate all the love. But honestly, this was such a team win. We got challenged as a defense this week, you know what I mean? And all the guys just looked each other in the eyes and said, let's get to it. It was the total team effort.
Simoni, it's Luke here, man. How are you out there looking like 2015 Simoni Lawrence right now?
Hey, Luke, I got Defensive Player 2019 and 21 and 15.
You're right, man. My bad. You're forever young. How could I forget?
Well, Simoni, it's Andy here, and one of my favorite.
Andy.
I love you too, buddy. One of my favorite things about being here at Tim Hortons Field on game night is you putting your arms up and getting this crowd going. And it feels like it's been a while. Maybe it hasn't been that long, but how did that feel just to have your defense out there getting the crowd roaring in that fourth quarter?
It was such an amazing feeling. Come on, Andy. Like, this crowd loves defense. And, you know, at the end of the day, you know, we gave them what they wanted. You know what I'm saying? And, like, every time you raise your hands, you feel that energy. It's reciprocated. So we love it. You know what I mean? It was an amazing feeling.
21, this is 22. I got to ask you.
Oh, Courtney. Love you, Courtney. What's up, my boy?
Oh,
hey, Luke, I love you, too. Don't get it messed up.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah.
I got to ask you, man, how much fun is it to watch Ted make plays? I mean, he's a quiet guy, but he's definitely a leader in that locker room. Why don't you show Teddy some love and tell everybody what it's like to play with him?
Yo, Ted's the ultimate teammate, you know what I mean? Like, he does anything he can. You know what's the difference between this year, like Ted from back in the day and Ted now? Ted would have fell on that. Ted's so confident to scoop and score. Did you see that? It's freaking crazy. I was like, no, Ted just scooped this, try to score. He's over 300 pounds, yo.
Simoni, what you missed a couple out there. What happened on those ones you dove for and missed?
What happened?
I'm just playing with you. I saw you dive for a couple tip pass deflections. You missed them. What happened?
Hey yo, on the one, I jumped so high, Andy. I jumped on the offensive tackle's head, and his helmet hit the football when I was trying to bring it in, bro.
You are gold for an interview, Simoni, man. This is awesome. Dude, enjoy a great victory, man. What a great night for you and the team, and coming into a short week with Edmonton. Good luck, man.
Thanks, man. Love you guys. Let's have a Monopoly game soon.
You don't want that heat, man. You don't want that
Do not pass go, brother. Performer of the game, number 21, Simoni Lawrence, presented by Hercules Tire. Ride on our strengths. Simoni, enjoy the victory. We'll get ready for a big game on Thursday as well, too, out in E-Town.
Yeah, Simoni, 4 tackles and 1 interception, but like you said, Bubba, he was everywhere. It just seemed like he was having an impact on the play all 4 quarters, the Simoni we're used to.
Luke, Luke, I'm with you. Like, it was like 2019 Simoni. Like, he was...
Yeah, his energy was up, man. And, yeah, it's a whole different, spectrum of Simoni energy compared to normal people energy. But for Simoni energy even, it was really high. And he passed breakup at the line of scrimmage, and he just adds a lot to the momentum of the Ticats when they get going. It's great to see.
There were a few honorable mentions.
Yes.
Jameer Thurman, 9 tackles, 2 big sacks, clutch time. The whole offensive line, I thought, played outstanding. Teddy had a great game.
I thought Chris Edwards was all over the place.
He was.
Chris Edwards, big interception and the tackle to seal the game. James Butler, when called upon, performed well. Like Simoni said, great team victory.
Well, anytime you record 5 sacks, intercept 3 passes, and have a fumble recovery, like, you got to end up on the positive end of this.
A big part of his interception, too, is they've struggled this year taking advantage of momentum swings in the game. Like, you get a big play or take advantage of an opportunity. But in those first 3 games, something would immediately go wrong. Where tonight, Simoni gets that interception, and the offense marches down the field right after that and gets points on the board.
I believe there were 10 points off turnovers tonight. Before we move on, Luke, I got to throw this because you were in the broadcast booth, and RJ's nowhere to be found at this moment right now. I'm wondering if he's having a cardiac arrest, because that last play of the game, with all the great things that happened tonight, it took that one last tackle at the 2-yard line with Crum, who comes in a no-win situation for him, that he ends up on the 1-yard line away from possibly tying this game.
Yeah, I believe it was, if we could check this, I believe it was he was just shy of 100 yards rushing just himself tonight. He really had some huge runs on the ground himself, including a touchdown run and a gutsy finish by him, and it was Jagger Davis who kind of slowed him down, and then a great tackle by Chris Edwards there. So, the credit goes to the defense, but Crum is, we'll see what goes on in Ottawa in the weeks to come and what impact he's going to continue to play.
Yeah, and if I can throw that to all 3 of you guys here, and I don't know how you answer this question, football's a tough sport, and I had just finished talking to Jeremiah Masoli's family at this desk right here on the 4th floor at Tim Hortons Field. And not 5 minutes later, Jeremiah goes down. And you could just tell by the players' reaction at the time from both sides, and even at the end of the game, the respect that number 8, Deep Throw Soli, has for both teams.
Yeah, and I think that moment just let everybody know the gravity of the situation. It's a tough game, but everybody knows what they're signing up for when they get in here, and that's why the bonds between guys are so close. That's why we get on the phone with Simoni and we crack so many jokes, because we've been through stuff. So Jeremiah is a tough guy, and we know he'll bounce back, but our heart goes out to him for battling back from a tough one and then having another one pop up. It's never nice, but we wish him the best.
It was great to see it wasn't great to see anything regarding the injury, but I was proud of the stadium, the fans in the stadium.
That was a great point.
Everybody was standing. A lot of respect for him. Earlier in the game, Lorenzo Malden, the reigning defensive player of the league, went down, and he got a big ovation when he got up and walked off the field. And Jeremiah everyone was standing. Real concern in their minds. So that was a proud moment as a Hamilton Ticat fan and as part of this organization to see that. And this is a tough one. I mean, you spend a whole year battling injury and setbacks, and then come in your first game and get a non-contact injury that didn't look like a serious play. It leaves a void as an athlete. You think, what's next for him, right? What's next?
Yeah, true.
Well, I can't imagine it's over. I can't imagine it. Like you said, Courtney, he's going to battle back. He's gonna figure a way to overcome this. He's a world-class athlete with an amazing mindset. He's just a professional amongst professionals. So, my heart goes out for him and his family, but I think he'll make it through.
Luke, I heard it in your voice in the actual call, the actual oh no.
Yeah, you just hate to see it. It's not like a hard tackle where his ribs get banged up. It's like normal stuff. No, it's one of those, you're standing by yourself in the open field. I was on the field when he suffered his injury in 2019 with the Ticats, and that was 2 injuries ago for him. So he's just had so much to go through. And the most amazing thing about Jeremiah is that he's already been through enough injuries that most athletes would have not been able to make it through. He's already overcome that many, but unfortunately another one faces him now. And yeah, I'm heartbroken for him like the rest of the stadium was, and I hope a speedy recovery.
Last one to you there, Andy. Short week of preparation. Maybe a good thing that it's a short week of preparation, because you carry that good feeling of the victory on the road, where I know you guys like to have a lot of fun, and they get to maybe duplicate that good feeling again.
Yeah, it's going to be really important to dive into this film and make some corrections, but still ride this momentum, ride this high, keep that positive energy and that focus and that resilience going into next week against a struggling team. And you have a great opportunity to get to 2 and 3 and be right back in the mix. What a huge win tonight, and just very proud of this team in general and coming off that bye.
About 15 seconds there, Court.
I'm looking forward to the next week. Can they put another one together and stack another brick on top of this one?
10 seconds for you, Luke.
Well, Edmonton's a great place to go travel to. Short week. Have a blast out there trying to get consecutive wins, and it's no better time to start putting them in the win column.
Tiger Cats win their first of the season. They improved to 1 and 3. They defeat the Ottawa Redblacks in a nail-biter that went right down to the last play of the game. 21-13 is the final score. Thank you so much, Tiger Town, for listening. For Andy Fantuz, for the likes of Luke Tasker, RJ Broadhead, Courtney Stephen, our amazing production crew, and of course all the people here at Tim Hortons Field. We'll be back Thursday night for Tiger Cats pregame presented by Greenworks as the Ticats head to Edmonton, Alberta to take on a team that's hungry for a win too, Chris Jones Elks. Broadcast starts at 8 p.m. right here on the Ticats Audio Network. Good night.